Ever feel like technology, the very thing meant to solve all of our problems, feels like the problem itself? Think about the last time you tried to solve a problem, a very seemingly simple problem with technology. Or did you find yourself navigating layers of frameworks, wrestling with configurations, and debugging interfaces between systems that promised to ease but delivered anything but that? I know that feeling. Welcome. This is a series about a fundamental truth seemed to be forgotten in the relentless march for technological progress. The only real way to conquer complexity is through simplicity. But there's a paradox. Achieving true simplicity requires a deep understanding of how everything actually works. We're constantly bombed with the promises of a faster solution through technological abstractions. Oh, just use this framework. Oh, let the cloud handle it, don't worry. This library will solve all of your problems. But how often do these shortcuts truly simplify our lives? More often than not, they introduce new layers of complexity, new dependencies, and they complicate our build process. We add new security vulnerabilities, and I know Node.js people know what I'm talking about, or any other programming language where you rely on thousands of packages to do basic things. This creates a fundamental disconnect from the underlying reality of the systems we're building. We get a lot of cognitive overload because we rely on circumventing the abstraction to solve a problem. Now, this isn't just a technological and technical challenge, it's deeply rooted in how we function as human beings. We are by nature problem solvers. Our creativity allows us to envision unique solutions, to see angles that others might miss, and the information and technology industry thrives on this ingenuity and creativity. However, this very human brain of ours right here also is a playground for psychological biases. Every decision we make, even when we believe it's purely rational, is colored by our emotions. We feel a certain way about the technology, then we find the logical reasons to back it up. We hold on the latest trends because everyone else does the same thing. Or we stick stubbornly to what we know. We've did it for 20 years, it works for us, we're gonna do it for 20 more years. Even if it's not the best tool for the job. True, unbiased rationality in tech decisions is a myth. It doesn't exist. And these biases often lead us down the path of unnecessary complexity. Now, I'm going to touch many of the cognitive biases and psychological ideas in the next video. Making decisions is inherently difficult. Choosing the right technology in an ever expanding landscape feels like navigating a true minefield. And the fear of vendor lock in, of being trapped by a seemingly helpful abstraction, often pushes us to add even more layers of perceived safety. Kubernetes, I'm looking at you. Now, before we go further, a crucial disclaimer. What I'm about to say in this series might make some of you uncomfortable. It might even ignite those very infamous "this is better than that" tech debates. And my perspective comes from over 2 decades of building, breaking, and rebuilding systems, often from scratch with new technologies. Everyone is entitled to an opinion, and I ask that you respect mine. Please, let's aim for a productive conversation, one that leaves something valuable for those who come after us. So instead of being purely aggressive or passive aggressive and going on social media and posting things there, I won't see them anyway, because those platforms are echo chambers and filled with bots. Please go to fullstackdevops.eu/community. I've created a dedicated space for these discussions. You'll find the link in the video description. Let's keep the conversations focused and searchable, because we all know that YouTube algorithm and even all of the other social media networks, they work in a way in which, I'm sorry, you won't find the important data there, even on Reddit. But by using a sort of community Q&A, just like Stack Overflow, it's much easier to link to things. And if you do post something there, link it in the comments. Now think about it. We encounter a problem, something we deem worthy of solving. What's our first instinct? Often it's to reach for the newest technology, to build yet another freaking layer on top of an already intricate and complex ecosystem. All in the name of simplification, technology. I don't know. You figure it out. But the uncomfortable truth is that the more technology we add, ironically, the more complexity we add and the more problems we create. It becomes a vicious cycle which spins around as we abstract so much of the underlying system. Instead of solving the actual issue, we need more tools, we add more resources, we add more people, more energy, and often we have less meaningful output. We feel productive, we feel busy, but are we truly productive at the end of the day? My own journey with technology started very early. Growing up in a post-communist Eastern European country, getting my hands on a computer at the age of 5 was a rare privilege. I only truly began to write code at around the age of 12, 13, and I've been immersed in this world for over 20 years. My driving force was always trying to understand everything about technology, to be self-sufficient in creating products and actually solving problems. Now, 20 years ago, back then, there were no endless tutorials, no boot camps, and there was no one holding your hand on YouTube. So I had to learn everything the hard way, through relentless trial and error. And this very process of perseverance through failure is what forged my problem-solving skills. And most people today lack those skills because when they don't know something, they search online. I've had the opportunity, or perhaps the misfortunate opportunity or serendipity, to work with a vast array of technologies. So many have faded away into obscurity. I've learned multiple programming languages, each with its own unique paradigm. And I've been managing my own Linux virtual machines for what's as long as I remember. That I've developed a healthy skepticism towards the latest tech fads. I look into them, I see where they're going, because I like to adopt a beginner's mindset, even when I revisit familiar languages. I go back to documentation, I compare to what I know, and I see if this will stand the ages of time. However, a healthy dose of skepticism is always welcome. As I've already mentioned, in today's world, the abundance of actually online courses is considered a safe haven. Yet, I believe they often fall short for the majority of learners. Often because they're created by individuals or companies which are primarily driven by profit, not necessarily by a deep understanding or a desire to empower true mastery. This creates generations of people which lack many skills. In turn, they teach others their lack of skills, which turns to even more complexity. And I hope you see where this is going. What's most concerning is that most developers, sysadmins, and even architects lack a comprehensive understanding of the entire technological landscape they operate within. This lack of holistic knowledge can actually lead to catastrophic decisions for a company's future, driven by trends or incomplete information rather than actually good principles. However, if we would be to explore multiple programming languages and paradigms, not only those which are based on C like C++, C#, Java, JavaScript, Rust, PHP, Golang, and there are tens of other variations, simply the same thinking patterns. If we were to explore things like, for example, Tickle, Lisp, Erlang, Smalltalk, Elixir, Haskell, and other weird languages, we would build a better understanding and would solve problems much more efficiently. The thinking skills which I've developed because of this exploration brings me to the point about psychological biases. We'll be exploring them in the next videos. And there are key ones which influence our daily decisions as humans and even our technological decisions day in, day out. Ultimately, despite the allure of complexity, simplicity truly is the ultimate sophistication. It's been said before, it will continue to be true. It's far more valuable to understand the workings of a system than to blindly follow technologies, libraries, whatever. Because the inner workings will remain a mystery for most people. More than that, we will fight. People continue to fight. And I know I've did the same thing with ORMs and many things. We'll continue to fight against the frameworks, against the cloud systems, the APIs, the libraries, because they promise to accelerate our problem-solving skills. But as I've mentioned, and I hope you understand, they overcomplicate and they don't solve the underlying issue. And often they explode in unexpected ways, actually proving that they won't work. The more technology we add to a problem, the more technology we need, the more problems we generate, and the more technology we try to build. You get the point, the vicious cycle which never ends. Now there's a very strange phenomenon I've observed, and it's frowned upon. Companies demand hyper-specialized experience in a single technology or domain. They frown upon generalists. Of course, a CV which looks too good to be true might not be too good to be true. And even fellow employees view it with some suspicion. Because who can master all those things? You know the saying, jack of all trades, master of none? Well, it continues like this, better than master of one. And actually there's a big paradox going on. Companies say they want a specialist, but they have job openings and specifics for jobs which they hire, which are designed for big generalists. You need to know this, and the other thing. And it's really weird because it's sending a very distorted message across everywhere. Another reason why I want to start this series was I want to counteract the myriad of bad advice given online by many tech influencers. Let's call them scam techfluencers, or scamfluencers, or scam techfluencers, or tech scamfluencers, or whatever. You get the point. You've probably seen many of clickbaity titles and videos boasting millions of views. Everything is sensational, but we humans are suckers for this kind of psychological impact. Remember, go and watch a video right now, and you'll see at the end, they talked about a lot of things, but you're left with nothing. So this is the stage we're setting. Technology is very complex, often unnecessarily so. We're driven by psychological forces that don't always lead to the most rational decisions. Even if we as tech people are the most rational, we are prone to actually make irrational decisions. And the pursuit of ever-increasing abstraction layers leads us further away from understanding true efficiency and simplicity. In the next video, we'll start dissecting some of these very specific areas of complexity. Now join me, and let's see if we can find the path to sanity. We need sanity in our technological world today, especially in the whole cloud system and everything we're building. Please subscribe, like, and create an account on the community. Leave a comment and see you next time. Bye bye.